Well, guys, I'm happy to say that I got to experience the new Saw movie last night, and guilty admission time, I have not seen a Saw movie since the very first one, which I saw in the theater back in 2004.
So it's great that you say that in a way. We tried to make this film for people who either like lapsed fans or people, now because it's 20 years later, who has not seen a movie. And so we tried to make it for both. We did a lot of little things for people who saw the movies, and we tried to make it more linear for people who had never seen a Saw movie.
And it felt like there were some inside jokes that were going over my head, which is great for those people who have seen all 10 now or about to see all 10 here in the next couple of days. But I got to tell you, it was a great blend of seriousness, of humor, of really taking on societal's ills in a way, and then also doing what Saw has done for so long, and that is providing some grotesque, absurdist horror wrapped around a really enjoyable film.
Thank you. Well, we always start with trying to tell a good story. I mean, that's always where we begin. And as Oren said, we just put placeholders in for trap 1, trap 2, trap 3, and then at the very end we kind of go back and go, all right, how are we going to kill people? Let's figure this out. Or how are we going to put people in a trap that they may or may not have? Everybody does have a way out. You could live without a finger, you could live without an arm, you could live without a leg, but it doesn't look like it'd be a lot of fun.
No, neck is a problem. Many people actually try and get there, but unfortunately, throughout the course of the series, no spoiler alerts, sometimes don't make it all the way.
No, they don't. So,
do you guys ever get to contribute the ideas to how people may end up dying?
Yes, absolutely. What Marco said, so we do the story. We also then check logic because there's so many different moving parts. So we're like, wait, we can't do that. We did that in Saw 4. We can't, we make sure the story blends, make sure the story's great, and then we all sit and meet. We have great production designers who this is their wheelhouse. They absolutely love doing this. I mean, think if they were dressing this in this interview room, they'd be like, okay, we could do it fun, make a cool little red ceiling, but to build a trap is like their Super Bowl. So for us, and then they'll bring it by and we're like, no, we can't do that. Oh, we did that in a different movie. So we do contribute, but the main thrust of it is from the production designers.
Mark, do you have a favorite idea that you were able to contribute for a trap/death?
Well, it's a truly a group effort. I mean, we used to sit in restaurants, for lunch, dinner, and there'd be Oren, myself, the writers, the director, and we'd start talking about ways of killing people, and all of a sudden you'd realize that people would be pointing at us. One table would kind of like move away, like, we're going to get a little bit like, who are these like people right here? So we decided it was best not to do it in a public place.
Especially not a red sauce Italian place,
Hands down. Yeah. So we sit and we all, can we kill somebody this way, that way, and it's kind of fun, in some weird, sick way. You get to live out fantasies of killing people without actually ever having to really do it.
We think about killing ex-wives, things like that,
Well, sometimes you have to think about those people that have wronged you in the spirit of the film, right?
More than you know.
So, gosh, it's been almost 20 years now since the first one, and this is the 10th movie, obviously. Does it feel like that much time has passed, Oren?
No, not really. I mean, we last Friday, 6 days ago, was our 20th anniversary of day one of principal photography. So we've had a group chat going with James Wan and Lee Wanell and Mark and I and Charlie Clauser, who does all of our music from Nine Inch Nails, Dan Hefner, Kevin Greutert, who directed this film. And it's just hilarious to see the same exact personalities coming out. It almost feels like it's yesterday.
Mm. And yeah, we've been really fortunate to have a core group of people that have stayed with us since Saw 1. It's the same composer, same producer who works with Oren and myself, same studio executive, Jason Constantine.
That never happens.
Nobody has the benefit of, if you're a producer, of working with the same creative team for 20 years. And Kevin Greutert's either edited or directed pretty much every Saw movie. He's seen every footage, every bit of footage that we shot, let alone put in the movie. He's the true Saw keeper of the Bible, let's call it.
Even for good relationships, it's hard to stay that way for 2 decades. What has allowed everybody to continue to coexist so well together?
I think it's just a really good group of people that generally like each other. You know, I mean, Oren and myself have been partners for, I couldn't tell you, 25 years maybe? Maybe 25, 20, yeah, right around 25 years, that it just works, you know?
Do you want to add anything, Oren?
No, but if you could read our group chat, you'd understand. It's like, you know, Lee Wannell's one of the original writers and starred as Adam in the first one, the guy near the bathtub. He's still like kind of, you know, super cheeky. You know, it's James Wan right now is directing Aquaman 2, so he's got his distractions, but then he jumps in and he's hilarious. So it's the same group of guys, and it feels right.
I think Lee's last text was, let's be really honest, okay? 20 years, it all started with Adam and ended with the screenwriter.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and of course he was Adam and he was the screenwriter. So it's like we said, or it was the other way around. He goes, you know, Saw started with the screenplay and ended with Adam.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, that's it.
So he's terrific.
That's what I mean. But everybody's just kind of slipped into their roles, and
The only people have aged are Oren and myself. You know, freaking James Wan, Lee Wannell, Dan Hefner, they all look identical.
You guys got the hard.
Scary.
You guys have the hard job, obviously, as the executive producers of everything.
I think Lee Wannell, you know, started at 26. He's now 46, and he looks like he may have to start shaving next week.
Lucky guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So y'all do an exceptional job on social media of helping to promote the films. Do you have a favorite social media bit that has to do with the newest Saw, or maybe something from the past?
First of all, our social media team in this movie has blown away anybody that's ever done it. Second of all, we called Voldemort, which is the gag that cannot be named, but at the AMC, Nicole Kidman is by far my favorite anyway. But they made us take it down, so we don't talk about it, even though it's our favorite.
Why'd they make it take it down?
Wasn't on that phone call.
All right.
It's a parody, but they were not. They didn't think it was funny, I guess. But
Sense of humor was welded at zero.
but our
Our partners, and we're in, I think, 26 or 27% of our screens this week is AMC. So, listen, they have the reasons. Nicole Kidman's, they've invested a lot of time and money into that relationship, and she does an amazing job as their ambassador. So,
let's be honest. My favorite was there was a KTLA newscast, the local LA station, where Billy over here, love you, Billy, on his tricycle in the middle of the newscast just rides his tricycle in the background of the news reporter.
totally pirated.
Yeah.
Like we have one on a remote, and one of the guys that works for Lionsgate was literally figuring this lady was standing doing a piece on the side of Sunset about some development at UCLA or something, and all of a sudden you look in the background, you see Billy going by on the tricycle on a live feed. So,
Great. And by the way, 15 million people have downloaded or watched that bit so far.
That's a hell of a video bomb.
Yeah, that's great.
as good as it gets.
Okay, so I've got a couple of ideas for people that a future Saw film, assuming that there is an 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, however long y'all end up taking this, a couple of people that may need to be targets of future Saw films. And unfortunately, I dealt with one of these people last night in the screening. It was somebody who was wearing entirely too much perfume to the point that it was starting to choke me out. So perhaps...
Could be a good trap, in the perfume trap.
Well, it's not just that. It's like you either have to, I don't know, sandpaper your skin off, otherwise you get your head cut off or something.
I think we've had worse ideas. Seriously, that's not a bad one.
Shh, guess that wasn't a very good idea. All right, how about this one?
Oh, I'm saying that.
The person who comes into a coffee shop with their pet, with their dog,
Beyond.
which is allowed. I understand we're at a point in society where we're allowing the dogs into the coffee shops, but they allowed the dog to lay across the coffee shop like it's their living room. That person needs to be dealt with.
How about when people, they have the dog come up on the booth? Sit in the booth.
There needs to be more distinct lines drawn with these
And
things.
you know what happens if you kick them out, right? As the proprietor, you get sued.
You get sued, and you get hated on by everybody around because everybody loves dogs. But we still need to have more distinct lines between where humans are and dogs are.
You bring Mr. Ed there, though. I mean, you bring these dogs this tall.
Yeah, no Shetland ponies,
Exactly.
no peacocks, no emotional support
We can
peacocks.
do a trap with that because we both have animals and dogs, but We'll figure something out.
Yeah, we haven't killed any animals yet. And this was the first Saw, by the way, where we actually put a kid in jeopardy.
Really?
Yeah, we generally don't
We kind of try to
go after children.
We don't do the usual horror movie tropes. We don't have the girl in the shower going, oh, and they happen to just walk in with the knife. We don't do any of that stuff.
What was the kid conversation like for this one?
It was a necessity because we needed it just happened, and we're like, oh shit, should we do that? But and then in the very end we're like, yeah, okay, let's do it.
He was totally game.
Yeah.
But the funny part is he's the sweetest little guy, and he comes in. We have a table read, and there's a bunch of salty actors, and people would talk and go, bleep bleep, I don't like that, or we're just, and I'm looking, he's just like this big smile, and his mom's next to him smiling, and I'm like, oh, we're the worst humans in the world.
So he handled everything okay, though?
Beyond.
Kid's a rock star.
And we loved working in Mexico City, by the way. I don't know if you've ever been there or not, but the crew was great. The people were great. The city welcomed us. The food is amazing there. We will go back to Mexico City for our next movie.
Okay, so there are obviously scenes around Mexico City, but the entire film was shot there.
The entire film, 100% shot Mexico City.
What is something that surprised you about Mexico City?
The food scene. Like, I didn't really realize it was a whole scene. So when Mark and I started telling people we're going to Mexico City, everybody had lists. We had one friend who text us his list and then sent us his brother's list. It's a real, but like people who are foodies and watch like Chef's Table. So I guess the Chef's Table with a place called Puyol is like one of the top downloaded ones, Chef's Table episodes ever. Okay. So people would go, well, you have to go here, you have to go here. And we're like, what?
Not only that, I had a good friend, Adrian Gonzalez, used to play professional baseball.
For the Rangers.
Yeah, exactly. Not only did by the way, not only did he like send us his restaurant list. Yeah, not only did he send us his restaurant list, he would send me what to order in each restaurant
and who to ask for.
Yeah, he'd be like, okay, he'd download the menu, circle what he wanted us to order, and then send it to us.
That sounds like a good friend.
Yeah,
both of our kids go to. Mark's a very social friend of his, and both of our kids go to school with his kids. So,
he's just a great guy.
All right, guys. Parting thoughts for Saw X.
Please go see the movie.
It's our favorite Saw movie. Sounds self-serving, but of all the Saw movies Oren and myself have made, it truly is, we think, if not the best, one of the best Saw movies yet.
Why do you think that?
It just is. It talks about the character. It talks about John Kramer, Tobin Bell, who's a brilliant actor, and it's the highest rated by far movie on Rotten Tomatoes.
There it is, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
81%.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Thanks, man.